Hey everyone, and welcome to Conquer the Mirror Demon. And my name is Tanja Andersen, and I am your host on this amazing Christmas calendar that is live in this Christmas time where we are spreading connection between friends, love, healing, and what it takes to really transform into the confident woman that is lying in us, that is just waiting for us to do the work so that she can break through. So today I have an amazing friend with me. I have known her a short period of time. We saw each other for 1 year. So let us welcome her here. And her name is Paige Tinman. I really hope I say your last name correctly.
Yes, it's Trinnamon, like cinnamon.
Paige Cinnamon. Okay, so Paige will share a little bit more in the details about who she is, what she's working with. So why I was reaching out to Paige was because 1 year ago, a little bit 1 year ago, where we was connecting together for the first time, that when I saw her, I just love her spirit, her voice. It make me calm just listen to her voice, and also the softness she have in her spirits, how it's showing up in her color, in the voice, and I really feel there's something unique by her. So that's why I was reaching out to her to ask her to join this amazing summit, and also for me to get to know her and to support her as we as women we get to choose to support each other, to stand next to each other as a sisterhood, and really stop to be afraid to share each other's work, because it is all about connection and we get to support each other into whatever we work with. And that is something Paige is also standing for, and that's why I was picking her, because it is important to be around people that is connecting with most of our values so that we can grow and transform into a confident woman. And Paige is 100% embracing that in her spirits, in her energy, as the foxy lady as she is. So Paige, share a little bit about you before we are sharing about this amazing topic we are digging into today.
All right, thank you, Tanya, for that introduction. And I did, I did really enjoy meeting you as well. And we both have heart-led businesses and visions for a better world, and I know that we both stand for being the change that we want to see in the world. So thank you. It's great to be here, and I do really love this topic, especially as a woman, and we'll get to that topic in a minute. Um, but my goal right now, besides finishing my memoir, because
Oh, wow.
like I feel like when we share our stories, there are so many people that can resonate with the story because they're going through the same thing. So
Yeah.
my story is about my journey as an Orthodox Mormon woman, really being married and the joys and the struggles of that, but then deciding at one point to listen to another voice, which I believe was my higher self, and really pulling out of everything that I believed and everything that I had built to rebuild my life. And so it spans over about 30 plus years. And that's what I'm passionate about right now, as a tool to connect with women, to then help women over 40 to really get very clear on what they want, and to understand anything that is in the way or in the shadows, so that they can live lives that feel really good and genuine to who they are at their core.
Oh, amazing. I love the point you're really sharing about uh, the shadows, because we really get to see also shadow as a wisdom, because there's so much wisdom as I see it, as there's so much wisdom in our shadows, because we all have shadow and light, black and white, yin and yang. We get to unite both sides to become one, to become wholeness, and also to set ourselves free. So beautiful, beautiful. Okay, the topic Paige and I will talk about today is how the lies you tell yourself are ruining your life. Oh my God, sometimes word. Oh my God. I wish Danish people learn to say in Danish because it's just like, oh my God, roll the tongue. And in English, it can be a little bit like a hot moment for me.
You're you're amazing. I love that it doesn't hold you back. You just go forward anyway. It's the best. Yes. So how the lies that you tell yourself are ruining your life
Yeah.
is our topic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And why is I just love this story. When I saw it the first time you put it, it's just like, yes, 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 yes. And we are talk about that. So why is this topic so important for you, Paige, for us to dig into and give that forward to people that's watching this interview?
Well, this topic is important because we're all actually living out our shadows.
Ah!
And when I came up with that title, it does seem a little harsh. Like, what, we're ruining our lives, and I did want it to be a little bit inflammatory um, because the things that we're not ready to look at or willing to look at are the things that are shaping every experience that's coming into our life.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, in one sense, maybe it is ruining our life if we're not acknowledging it. And in another sense, it's a great blessing because uh, all the troubles that we're experiencing and all the junk is perfect for what we need to evolve through and pull. It's the thing that's going to pull us to the next level in our life.
Oh my God. It is just also so true. And it's also a little bit funny why I'm laughing about that is because I was just there before this interview. Maybe you like sense the energy because I don't hide. My energy is just out of on my skin. I show everything. People know where they have me. Just look at me. It's just like, I'm just, oh my God. Because they are so interesting, like you're sharing about the breakdowns. Like, I just love that because we get to it can be a hot mess to be in our breakdowns, to embrace the breakdowns because dirt come up like it is kicking us in the ass sometimes. And I definitely experienced that in these days today, to be honest. And if I chose to say no to face it and chose to say no to the transformation, I will take it away from me to go to next level. Because whatever I have communicated out there, no matter what actions I've done for 5 minutes ago, I'm not that person. So who do I choose to be? This is something I really work for in these days, and to be okay with the actions. Because if I choose to say that did not happen, I'm lying to myself, and I'm saying no to the wisdom, to the growth, to the transformation that is lying in there. And one of a big mentor said to me, like, people will stick with you, the people that choose you, and the people that choose to say goodbye, it is a blessing for them to say goodbye because you have energy and time to give forward to people that choose you in life. That has been a huge nerd party and very challenging for me to be learn to live in and to work in every day. That also did running my life was so afraid to be messy, so afraid to shift up the game, no matter what choice I did for 5 minutes ago to shift that because it was not work to shift that. Like that was running my life. I was too afraid to shift it and say, okay, I did communicate that, it did happen, and now we are shifting it. And the people that choose to be on that journey choose to be on that journey, and some people will leave, and it is a blessing instead of like seeing this as a burden because they are relying for themselves and say no to the wisdom.
Yeah, I think what one thing that you brought up that I would like to stick with a little bit longer is the lies. So, and we could say another way of saying we're lying to ourselves is really the fact that we're holding secrets. And so,
Mm.
um, when I'm writing my memoir, one of my biggest secrets was my hatred towards my body. and was the ways that I would try to change my body. I think that right now there's an epidemic of of comparison
Oh my
for
God.
women on social media, especially for women, and it can be really challenging to master our thoughts into loving ourselves when we're really constantly judging ourselves and not really liking what we're seeing in the mirror. And so I like that, we're talking about what we're seeing in the mirror here. So for
Yeah.
me, I was not being truthful to myself. I said that I loved myself, but I really didn't, because I was trying to change every little detail about myself that I saw in the mirror. And so, and then what would happen is that I would blame, let's say, my spouse for my unhappiness, or my body
Mm.
not being perfect. And so getting real, I'm all about that. Let's get real with exactly where we are and how we're lying to ourselves.
Yeah.
And I'm a detective. I'm like an emotional detective, because I'm going to get right in there with people, and I find it, and I find when it anchored into the body in their lifetime. And um, I believe in this kind of work because um, if we don't play energetic detective, those are the things in the shadows that are running the
Mm.
show. And so when we can pinpoint exactly when in our childhood, it's usually childhood,
Yeah.
can be earlier than childhood, it can be a little later than childhood. But when we find it, all of a sudden we unravel this big piece of our lives, and a whole other part of us gets to come online in a more authentic way. And so that's really exciting to me.
I love that. And it is like, I really believe like this is the real talk that set ourselves free. Like when we really get real with ourselves, and also like choosing to be around people like you, Pace, that is seeing through that and getting into like what it's about. Like being real on what is that about, in like all the noises we tell ourselves, in the choice to really like what is running our life. Like if we choose to say no, to be real with that, if we choose to just spend in it, and we get to be around people that is really seeing for what it is. I'm not to be like to say I'm busy, or to say I was watching and get out of it. No, no, you choose something else that is more important, that's connected. Like stop your excuse, be real with yourself. Why we choose as we do is because that is more important. That's other, like that's it, is something I said to myself, that is real. Like you choose what is important, you choose what is value, no matter if it's come from the shadows or from the light, you still choose what is important for you in that moment. And we get to stop to excuse ourselves for be a woman by the choices we making. Yeah, I make a hot mess. It's time for me to shift into something else and say, why did I choose it? Where did it come from? Like, why do I choose as I do? Because if I choose that, I'm also choosing that in other area of my life.
Yeah, I think that's what you're saying is our choices, like what we choose to do, what we choose to put our attention on, it shows our priority. And and when there's a discrepancy between our priority of choice, or what we're putting our time, money, energy, attention to,
Yeah.
and our value, if there's a discrepancy, that's causing chaos in our lives. And so getting real about what you want will will save you so much pain and breakdown within relationships and business and everything else. And so it is important to get really clear on what do you want.
Mm.
One of the most important questions we can ask ourselves is, what do I want? And then be really
Mm.
honest.
Oh my God.
Sometimes
Yeah.
we're embarrassed about what we want. Sometimes it's like we don't fully own it, and then it's just like I said, it's going to be running our lives whether we want it to or not.
Yeah. I'm curious to know, Paige, because I hear this like sometimes people say like, when do you know when you will with yourself? Or how do I get real with myself? Or I experienced a lot of people that is so afraid to get real with like what emotion did come up, because the emotion did come up, and be real with what was the emotion that like popping up, and be honest with yourself. That was I feeling that moment. It is what it is. It is just emotion. Where is that coming from?
Yeah, yeah,
So how did you come to the point to be real with yourself? Because my journey has been a very hot moment, hot mess for me to really get honest with myself and just see it is what it is.
yeah. That's a really important point because um, a lot of times when an emotion comes up, if we don't want to feel it, so whether we're uncomfortable with it or it just hurts or whatever it is, it's there's different ways to handle that. You can bypass it and pretend like it's not even happening, which is kind of a freeze response.
Yeah.
Uh, you can run away and get really busy and distracted, which is like oh, I can't remember the name of it. It's the running away response. Um, there's pleasing people, and so there's all these different ways. Oh, flight is the name of the one I was thinking of, and fawn
Yeah.
is when you're pleasing someone. Um, but what's it, if we allow ourselves in any moment to feel what is happening, feel the emotion, and let it come in to our bodies, sometimes that's all that is needed
Yeah.
is a witness of what is happening,
Yeah.
um, and then we can move on. But anytime we push it away or we don't feel it or we say, oh, I'm just going to feel this later when it's convenient, that's my
Yeah.
pattern. I'll say, oh, I can't deal with this right now. I'm just going to think about it maybe, I don't know, when I'm exercising later on today, you know, something like that, which thank goodness I like to exercise.
Oh my God, love that.
But just being present in the moment and witnessing what's coming up can be the most valuable practice of all, because emotions are just emotions. They are
Mm.
information. They're information that is in our body and in our tissues, in our nervous system, and they want to be seen. They all want to be witnessed. Not witnessing emotion is akin to disease. It will
Oh,
show up one way or another in some form if we don't.
so true.
So allowing the emotion without judgment is one of the kindest things we can do
Yeah.
for ourselves.
Yeah. So, how did you come to the point to be real with yourself? Because when I chose to learn that for the first time, 2014, it was so freaking scary for me to be real with myself on what was the emotion in the moment I had, the thought, the action, like what did like the fly on the wall. It was so scary for me because I have a huge belief that I will be locked in, because no one was talking about what I have in my mind. Like I was seeking for who is also sharing this out there. It's so raw, so honest. Like I want to punch someone to the person bleed. Like when I get so angry, like no one is sharing that because like that's a little bit too aggressive or too like extreme to share. It was what I thought in that moment, like it was in my head. So how did you come to the point to really be real with yourself on whatever that was going on?
Well, in my case, I was married for almost 30 years and unable to do exactly what I'm talking about, which is like feel the thing, and then that often involves communicating. So if I'm feeling something, maybe I need to, say that's hurting me. What you're doing is hurting me,
Mm.
or I don't like that, or I'd rather do this. And so for me, what happened is because I didn't have that skill. It built up and built up. I had resentment. I wanted a divorce. I got a divorce. Um, Also, I ended up leaving organized religion at the same time as I got my divorce. So the answer to that is that it will come out. And so it will come out in destruction or messiness of some sort, whether it's like a relationship falling apart or you falling apart, or even in my case, depression. So I internalized a lot of it and then I was depressed. So it just, it will teach us in one way or another. The question is, would you like to be taught moment by moment, or would you like to be taught in a big lesson? that falling apart of sorts.
I love that. I love that. And we have that conversation, like I would like to know, like, what is the 3 stages of self leadership? That, like, I'm very curious to know, like, what is the 3 stage of self leadership? Because when I heard like self leadership, what is that exactly? Because that is a new word for me to hear.
Yeah. Well, so the way that I've broken it down is that there are 3 stages to this, let's say this practice of being you.
Yeah.
Okay. When we talk about being you authentically, that means that you're self-actualized. That means that you are living in your essence. And so the first stage is when we're feeling those emotions, but we're not dealing. And so
Mm.
that would be um, when we're living by shame and guilt and not fully in our foundation. So, our foundation is being able um, to allow ourselves to exist. That's the first thing.
Mm.
Take up space on the planet. And if we haven't mastered that yet, then we're in that first phase still. And then the second phase would be knowing that you deserve to get what you want. Because it's one thing to want, but it's another thing to know that you deserve it. And
Yeah.
that brings us into a whole new energetic phase of belief in ourselves and in attracting the things that we want, actually starting to show up for us in our lives. And then the third phase would be more of a self actualization phase where we are living by our vision and we're expressing our truth as a regular way of being. And it's funny because what happens when you start to live that way is that I actually have a mathematical formula that proves this because
Oh, really?
I'm nerdy like this. Um, but what happens is there's 4 laws that start to come online in your life, and that is the law of compounding energy, the law of magnetism, the law of momentum, and the law of charge. And so what's happening, these laws, and you may not want to get into that in this discussion, but what that means is that life starts to line up for you, and it
Mm.
starts to support and bring in these things that you want and these people that you want, money, because it's physics. So, on a quantum physics level, when you're living your highest truth, life literally gets easy for you and
Yeah.
starts to hand you on a silver platter everything that you envision.
Yeah.
And so, it's not some woo woo, secret that this happens. I can prove it with math that that's actually what starts to happen in your life. And that's a really exciting way to live, because then you're not just like a one person show fighting for your survival.
Yeah. Oh
People,
my God. Yeah.
uh, the resources are showing up for you. So
Yeah.
life can literally shift by being true to yourself.
Mm. And the question that was popping up in my mind is like, how do you know your truth to yourself? Of course, there's always like different kind of levels, like day by day. When we choose to work on ourselves, we are getting deeper in being truth with ourselves. So when, to the audience that's watching this interview, when do they know when their truth with themselves? Because when I go back, before I was so low down in 2018 that I was a suicide attempt, like I chose to want to end my life, like with my actions. And before that, like I was so good to lie that I thought I had know what I want. I was honest about things. Like people knew me for that person that's Tanya know what she wants. She's honest. She's telling her truth, telling her meaning, and that was a huge big lie because it come as a shock for all people in life that I was on the hospital, like getting on the hospital with my mom, my sister, and my sister's boyfriend at that point, where there was just a shock, like, what is going on with you? And my mask was falling off. Like I could not handle my suffering and pain anymore of the lie that I was so good to lie behind my mask. And I
Yeah,
thought I was honest. I thought I was real, and it was not the case.
I think, I mean, there's a lot of nuanced elements to that scenario. Um, and I have empathy that you were there in that dark place. I think that maybe not everyone realizes that it's normal to have thoughts like that. I
Yeah.
think it's normal to despise ourselves at times. It's and to actually have hatred towards aspects of ourselves. It's normal to want to not do it anymore, to not do
Mm.
life anymore. It can feel really, really heavy, and I feel like sometimes it can kind of surprise you too. Can come out of left field, or like things happen. Relationships fall apart. We lose money. We get sick. We might have an accident, or even surgery, anesthesia. We might have anesthesia can affect us like this, or surgery can affect us like this, where all of a sudden our brains just aren't working, and we can find ourselves in a dark place, and just want it to end, want it to
Yeah.
be over. So anyway, I think that it's important to first of all normalize that happens. It happens to all of us, and the other thing is, I think when we allow ourselves to be imperfect, you know, the
Mm.
the idea that imperfection shows us the map of where to go. It shows us what's important to us, and
Yeah.
what we really want, and just being curious instead of judgmental. Um, Being curious is another wonderful habit instead of judging something. Just, I wonder why.
So true. Paige, there is a question in the chat for you,
Okay.
for Alana, if I say your name correct, my friend. There's like, do you think that our truth can be substituted, if I say it correctly, to where we are, energetic spirituality, and at the time in our life? Oh my God. Sometimes read English, I was like, oh, so nerd party there.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Is it Alana? I think
Yeah.
that our truth is, like, there's certain things about our truth that are always going to be there. It's like the pillars where, like, I will believe this the rest of my life. This is a guiding aspect of my
Uh,
life.
yeah.
And then our truth shifts a little bit too, and it does shift according to like mm, what what we know in any moment is what we feel, and so it is energetically and spiritually what your state is does inform your truth. And when we're vibrating in those lower emotions, I'm bringing up shame and guilt and dogma a lot, but
Mm,
those are the ones that we deal with when we're low.
yeah.
It is the lens. That is the lens that we're uh, using at that moment. Um, I think it's really important to feel those things and get curious, because it's always going to tell us something about ourselves. It's going to bring up something. Is this true? And then we get to ask ourselves, is this thought really true about me? And just it, ultimately, it's not. It's just not, but we feel it is, and that's why we allow ourselves to get low. But if we let that question come in, inspect it, answer it, instead of pushing the negative away or believing the
Mm.
negative will be there forever, that can feel really heavy when you think, this is just my life. This is
Oh
just
my
my.
God. Yeah.
Let it come, let it go. Just, if it's staying, get more curious until you understand more about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Stand.
it is the lens at the moment, for sure it is. As is joy, as is enlightenment and peace, we don't stay in those states all the time. But
Mm-mm.
so when they're there, geez, like let it in, enjoy it, because it's not, it won't last. And I have a saying, love and above, because I want to bring, that's part of my manifesto, and I help women create manifestos for their lives, is to always come back to love. And so love and above
Mm.
is my phrase, because it feels good. I just want to be in the vibration of love or higher as often as I can. So
Yeah.
always return to the love. You feel the other stuff, go through it, learn from it, and then get back up there.
Yeah. So true.
Yeah.
So one of the thing I'm curious to know in what we are sharing about is like turn to love, because turning to love, uh, how like when a person is looking themselves in the mirror, as we also have shared a little bit about, they do not like what they are looking in the mirror. They don't like the body. They don't like how this sounds. We compare ourselves with other women's, and we compare ourselves with others. Like, what is one step the woman that is there can choose to shift her life into choosing love instead of compare herself with another woman, if that
Yeah.
makes sense.
I can't remember who said this. Comparison is the thief of joy.
Oh yeah.
Uh, I have found that to be true myself. And I used to, um, oh, I think that sometimes we're actually not being real when we think we can love ourselves completely and fully. Maybe we can't yet. Maybe we don't have the skills yet. Maybe we don't have the ability yet. But we can, if we don't love ourselves fully, there are things we can do to do it a little bit better.
Mm.
So let's get real about that. Is there anyone that looks in the mirror and they're like, oh, I love everything I see, every aspect. I just feel perfect. Maybe there are. Maybe there
I
are.
believe
And
it there.
maybe those, maybe those people, I don't know very many of those people. I don't know if I
I
know
know.
any people who can do that. Um, but we can appreciate something about ourselves,
Yeah. Yeah.
some
Like
aspect of
I
what, and infuse that in the moment and
yeah.
allow that to be a moment.
Yeah. I really believe that when we talk about relationship, as we talk about that, I cannot love someone completely for who they are. I can accept them completely for who they are. And in that acceptance for who they are, for me, that is also love, because I accept them for who they are in this moment and meet them where they are and be curious about who they are, why do they act as they do, like where they're coming from. And for me, that is love in that act, to really completely accept them for everything who they are as a being in this moment. How
Yeah.
how how do you look at that? Like when we talk about love, like this, like what, like this, the word, like when you love someone completely, like with everything, like all the being, like also with ourselves, when we look ourselves in the mirror, like when I look myself in the mirror, to be honest, like I have just shaped myself down there and I have like red spots, like, oh god damn it, I hate that red spots. Like I was like that thought I had in the morning today. So like, do I really love myself completely? When I have like, I would like the red spots down there be gone right now.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, there's something that you can do. It's called unconditional love, that kind of
Yeah,
love.
oh, that's the word. Yeah.
Um, so one thing you can do, like if you're looking in the mirror and you see something that looks really yucky to you, you can say, okay, why am I having a reaction? Let's say it's your red spots. You're looking at your
Yeah.
red spots. You're just like, I just cannot accept this. It's so gross.
Yeah.
Um, then you could say, okay, why, why can I not accept this? And and then what would you say? Let's do a simulation. So what is it about the red spots?
Is it itchy? And
It's
is coming a little bit of yellow out of them? Like get to like get that out of them because it's just so itchy.
okay, okay. So you're seeing this imperfect part of you
Yeah.
is like, I don't like it. It doesn't look good. It's not perfect. Like perfect skin doesn't look like this. Uh,
Good one.
Part of me, I'm just not accepting right now. So um, that brings us to physical perfection, and at the base of physical perfection is almost always fitting in, and it's almost always acceptance into a group,
Mm.
and it's almost always when you get to the even underneath that, it means survival. Like when we go way down under all the
Mm.
layers, it's like survival. If I'm not a part of this group, if I get kicked out of this group, I will I will be alone and
Nylon.
die alone. Okay, which is so like the red spots. How did we get from the red spots to that? It's inside of our humanity
Mm.
because it goes way back, but there are remnants inside of us that still tell us that if we get kicked out of the group, we're going to suffer and die alone
Mm. Oh
because
my
we
God,
don't
it's so
belong.
good.
And that's primal, and that's it's just in there.
Oh,
And
so
so
good.
when it comes to something a beauty standard, that's almost always where it eventually leads to is rejection. And so we're
Yeah, true. Yeah, there was also a thought that was popping up in mind when we shared like this with the community. It's like, okay, in the past when I was together with one of my partners, that when I shaped me wrong down there, the wet spot was coming. I feel like yucky. I feel like I will not show that I was afraid for being pushed out to the side because I was not perfect on there. So there was a good spot there.
yeah, and rejected. So rejected
Yeah.
by your partner, but it's starting
Yeah.
with yourself.
Yeah.
You
I reject myself by seeing I have that and afraid for my partner to reject me, and I give it to myself so that I reject him because I just reject myself.
Yep.
Oh,
Yep.
the circle,
And you
the
know what?
circle.
That's why I wrote my book. My book's called Pinocchio Girl, and it will be out this year. But I took my deepest, darkest, shameful parts of myself. I was like,
Nice.
I'm so tired of these. I'm going to share them with the whole world, and that is how I'm going to overcome these. And
I
so,
Oh my God, I did not know that about you. I did the same like for 3 years. Like I need to get connected with this. Like also is what you say, like what the value of the pitfall of the emotion. Like I get to like get it and be real about what it is, and that start also my book that leads to conquer mirror demon, like really like conquer the mirror demon, like conquer the dark side, as I believe we have, like we all have past, we all have this black and white, yin and yang, we get to love both sides so that we can become whole and experience wholeness and experience healthy relationship with ourselves, with others, and also feel we belong because we belong in our own body with seeing I chose my past and I own it.
yes, yes, you just sparked something in me, which was about being real, and we started out this conversation with the lies that we tell
So,
ourselves,
oh yeah.
and this is what it sparked. So it was really popular. Do you remember maybe 15 years ago, The Secret came out, and everybody was like, manifestation, you can attract anything you want in this life.
Oh yeah.
So like manifestation is definitely a real thing.
Yeah.
It's definitely, law of attraction is legitimate. It's proven. We don't need to go there, but um, it's missing something. It's missing something important because yes, you can envision something for yourself. You can, in gratitude, ask for it and then detach and just know that it's coming and all that love and light stuff. That's like the love and light part of manifestation. And that's true. And if there's a part of you that believes you don't deserve it, or there's something in your past that's showing you that that's not meant for you, you will not manifest it. And that's the thing. That's the thing that's never, well, in my experience, not spoken of in manifestation. You can have a nice little sound bite about manifestation or a nice little social media post about it that's just like, just believe and know that.
Yeah. Speak it out there.
Yes. And it's only part of the picture.
Yeah.
Because it's really important to do that excavation, to be a match for that. If you're not a match for it, it's not coming. You still need to be a match.
Yeah. We are source everything. What we have inside, we attract.
We're always attracting in every moment exactly what we want.
True.
But not what we want, what we think. It's what we think. We're attracting exactly what we think we deserve in every moment.
So good. So good. So guys, before Paige is sharing her amazing free gifts she have for you guys, I would like to ask you guys that's on here live with us, like what questions do you have in your mind you would like to ask Paige about so that she can answer that, or maybe you need support on something, you have the opportunity to raise your hands or put in the comments so that you can ask Paige that before we are running ending this interview.
It's just you and me. I think you get
So
to
there's Sharon or Elena. I will always say that's so nerdy about names. So I was like, oh, there's something for me to look at.
Oh, you're still there. Okay, yeah. Any questions? Anything at all. It could be about imperfection. It can be about lying to ourselves, or you can ask me about my
Shadow
book.
works. Oh, love shadow works.
Shadow work, absolutely.
Yeah, oh, I love that. That was the first thing I learned in 2014 was shadow work. Oh my God, we are just digging in. Oh my God.
Yeah, some people don't understand what that means. Is shadow work.
No, it is. Oh my God. Also, is coming a question for you, Pete. Like, what love to know how to master the lies to change our belief ongoing as we expand and work on our shadows. Oh, good one.
Yeah, how to master the lies. I can tell you the way that I do it. So, well, I can see two ways of doing it, because you can do it as it. Oh, no problem, Shannon. You can face it as it comes into your reality, just like one thing at a time, and or what I like to do is I have a process, the emotional resonance method, and I take people through all of the key stories of their lives. So we just do it as a practice. We're just like, we're just going to look at all of them. We're going to look at all of them and see what's there and see what's ready. And so you can work with a coach like that, or what we were talking about in this conversation is a practice. And I have part of my free gift helps you with this. It's called Unbecoming. And so I'm just going to try to answer this question. Master the lies to change our beliefs. Okay, because changing a belief, it took some work to get it in there into your belief system in the first place. So your brain is really efficient, and it simplified information into an incorrect belief that you then embodied, and it was just conveniently using that in your operating system. So in order to see the lie, you're not going to see the lie unless you have someone who can take you into your stories, or you have the practice of finding them yourself. I would suggest trying this free gift. It's a pretty simple exercise. It's 2 pages, and it helps you to see where someone else has told you to be something versus what you want, and it helps you kind of untangle that. And that's really what you're doing when you're mastering your lies. And
Amazing. And
then there's another question. Tips about learning to love yourself.
that was a good one.
Yeah, it's a really good one. And actually, they're related. So, mastering the lies and learning to love yourself are related. The best practice you can do is neutralization. I call it, there's two things I call it, neutralization or flipping. So, you
Oh,
take
flipping.
flipping. And so, you take the belief that you're struggling with and you flip it to the exact opposite. So, if it's
Yeah.
the exact opposite. So if it's like I'm feeling ugly, like my skin looks ugly. Let's flip it. What's the opposite? My skin looks really pretty. Um, so what you're doing is, could that possibly be true? Could the exact opposite possibly be true? And usually, what you'll find is there's some aspect that's yes, and then it brings it closer to neutral. And so what neutralization is not holding the charge on the emotion. It's not being attached to the emotion. It's being like, um, maybe it is, maybe it isn't, but I'm not going to let it rule my moment, rule my thoughts, or rule my life. So being able to flip is one practice, and to neutralize. And when we can come from a neutral place, we can build anything. When you're neutral, you can build anything you want. And so building
True.
that capacity in the nervous system to come to neutral and to flip is, I would say, it's invaluable.
It is so that is also a part of the shadow work, because when you talk about, like, that is like shadow work, like when you have one like saying, like, as you experience Paige, like, you really hold the space for me in the beginning. I was just like, I just was coming out of my nerd part, so like, be with it. It is what it is, and like everything is a choice. Like, I could choose the emotion to run me, because there's no, if I choose it to hold the control on me, because there's a choice, that I choose a lie, because there's no, like, it is not the reality that I'm a failure, or it's not the reality that I am a mistake that was really like kicking me very strongly in the butt where I was going for a walk. That is the best tool for me to calm my nervous system down, is out in nature, kiss and hug trees and listen to trees, touch leaf on trees, and just like all my thought is going like on the sounds, the leaf, the smells, to get out of my own body, to get in myself again. And yeah, it is also like, what is the strength in that is just, that was like, I believe you hold the space, that you meet me there, because there's nothing wrong and right in that. So really knowing and trusting that you hold yourself, hold the space, have the confidence to lie in you, and don't get affected by my hot moment. It is a huge learning for me to really learn, like, I know you got yourself, and I know I got me, and we got each other, and let's create some magic together. Like, that is so powerful too. That was like the shadow, like, flip it, instead of like, Paige do not want me, she will jump off, she will say I'll never talk to you again. So I was like, that is not the case. Like, she is there, and she have chosen me, and she's really holding space, and still choosing me as I choose her. So I know from the bottom of my heart that we will create something beautiful, because I know you got yourself, you have the grounding as I have, and we meet each other there. So yeah, that's just something that comes to me when you share that.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, I think I just finished my summit and I'm taking a break from tech, um, because it really got to me. Like, talk about depression. I was like, it was so it was really difficult for me to not to show up. I love the interviews, I love the dialogue, but the
Yeah.
tech would really get me down. So I hold a lot of compassion for anyone going through that. It's not easy.
It is a hot moment sometimes to just like we just get to get in it and go for a walk and go back in it again.
Yeah,
Oh my
yeah.
God.
And if anyone, who's on this call, if you would like to explore a particular, a pain point or having difficulty loving yourself, we can also do a session.
Yeah,
You can go to
amazing.
emotionalresonanceMethod.com. That's my website. Instagram, Paige Trineman. And I love to help women do this. I'm not running my cohort right now with a big group of women. I'm finishing my memoir, but I am open to doing um, little, the sessions, like the one-on-one sessions. So.
So beautiful, so beautiful. So guys, Paige free gift is in the chat, so please grab it. Please share it with people that is in your life that you see. If a person pop up in your mind when you listen to this intro, please share her free gift with that person, because if a person pop up in your mind, it is a sign from the spirit that the person needs Paige free gift. So please take it, click on it, hit get access to her free gift, and also pass it over to, let's say, 5 women. So 5 Women's Day, it is Christmas, it's the 5th of Christmas, you get to spread the love, share the joy, and also share resource for other women to really, so they can really get connected with who they are and be real with themselves and learn the power of shadow work, and also be honest with themselves in a space with a person as Paige that is really owning her confidence and owning her being, and bold enough, vulnerable enough to go there where many people say no to go there. So Paige is a beautiful voice being to really go, and it is a safe place. That's why I was choosing Paige to come on here, because he's all about what this song is about of her work. So Paige, can you please share again your Instagram and your website links so that people can get connected with you? And guys, if you say I cannot figure it out, there's always a way. You can comment this video, you can send me an email, say, how do I get connected with this amazing woman that is called Paige? I will send you the link. So there's always a way how to get connected with her. You can also take her name and put in Facebook, and you will find a beautiful lady, as you're seeing here, with a beautiful face. So, my love, can you please share where people can get connected with you again?
Yeah, so I'm Paige Trineman on Facebook and Instagram, but my handle on Instagram is Move Love Create. So that's my nickname. That's what I stand for. My method is the emotional resonance method, and I have a really potent method for change. And I've put a lot of heart and time and energy and spirit into understanding on a very quantum level what happens when we change our beliefs. And I'm really excited to share it with the world at the right time. But for now, if, if anyone wants to work with me in that deep way where there's something that they're just ready to change, I'm open to do that.
Can you change if you in a group session? Can you please answer that question, Paige?
Yes, you can change. Can you change if you're in a group setting? I'm not quite sure what that means. Do you mean if people can go through this process in a group? Is that what it means?
Maybe a session with other women's, of course,
Yes,
yeah.
yes. Um, I've done it before with small groups. I haven't done large groups, although it can be done. Um, yes, that's a yes. And I've done it with couples. So I've
Mm.
taken couples through where they really want to get real in their relationship.
One of the thing I will also share also to you, and thank you so much, Jay. Jay, that was answer these questions is the power in being a group session is when you listen to someone else sharing about their story, sharing about their challenge, like really sharing something vulnerable with them, it unlocks something in your mind. So when you listen to someone else, it is a mirror into where you get to go. And when you are in a group sessions, there is people in there are a state that own the power, own the confidence, own the bravery to share something you may be afraid to speak loud. And that person, when that person share that, it allows you to share it because it feels safe for you to share it. And then you can really unfold yourself to be real with yourself because someone else have just taken the first step and you just on the other side, like shoulder to shoulder with the person. So that is where the two are powerful things to be in a group session. That is other people that's in that serve you with also the healing you are there to choose for yourself.
Yes. So it depends. The question is it better one-on-one? Is this like trigger work and when emotions get triggered? Um, well, definitely if you're getting triggered, and especially if it's a common trigger where it's happening again and again, there's something underneath that really
Mm.
wants to be seen and wants to be um, understood and witnessed, and I would say healed. Um, and so, yes, this is great one-on-one. It's obviously really potent one-on-one. The reason that I've taken couples through the process before is because then they can witness one another
Yeah.
in in finding those stuck points and those residues, and then they get to heal together, and that can be really beneficial to a relationship. Um, the one last couple I worked with, they stayed together, so they were considering divorce, and then they were able to see each other's shadows and do the shadow work together, and they ended up staying.
Mm. And also, like, one of the things I love to be triggered, it is just the person give you a gift. If I choose to be triggered, because everything is just, if I choose to be triggered by Paige beautiful face and clothes and how she show up, sometimes I go like, oh, I get a little bit triggered there. It is the shadow. It show me where I get to go. They show me where I get to look into because Pace embrace something that I have not yet unlocked. So when I get triggered, it is the biggest blessing that a human can give me because it tell me that I get to go there
Yep.
no matter how it feels. Like shadow work as light, when we have shadows, that is also what we get to go. Is as light, we also get to go there. So when we get triggered, it's because you are ready to look at it. Because the brain is only up for things when you have the resource and the skills, the bravery to go there. So triggered, it is the biggest gift someone can give you.
And when you start paying attention to the triggers, like when they come up and you get curious, that's a really good practice because you are doing shadow work when that
Yeah.
comes up, and you're doing it for yourself. And when you can be astute at doing your own work, yeah, life gets to you just get to maybe it's self therapy. You could look at it like that. Um, is a great skill to have, and it just takes a little bit of practice and awareness. But the trigger is the way. It's always the way. Always lean into the trigger.
Yeah. And again, it's all about how we look at it. If we do like say push it to the side or we choose to be real with ourselves, what that about. So my love, what is the thing, what is the one thing you would like to leave the audience with by seeing this interview? If there's one thing they get to go with, what would that be?
Hmm. I would say um, to be real with yourself, and don't lie about where you're at or how you feel. It's legitimate and it matters. How you feel matters. Um, I I did a movie when I was younger called What Is
Mhm.
Real. It was for Mormon missionaries. Okay, this was like 30 years ago. And so I was known as the What is Real girl. But it took me a long time after that film to actually get real with myself. And so that would be the number one thing is just like, just let it be in you. Don't push it out. Just let it be there. Get curious and love on what is there. Love on what is real for you.
Mm. Love that. Love that. Thank you so much, Paige. And you guys, thank you so much for watching this amazing interview with Paige and I. The link is in the chat. The link is also in your email. And you are always welcome to go below this video, get access to the summits. And you're also welcome to send me an email if there's something, information you need, or you're looking for something, please send me an email. And also, how do you get access to this amazing interview? We are up at 50 speakers that will come on. Like, how do you get access to each speaker as the free gift? You get to get access to the summits, and on the second page, there is all details how you get access, live chat access to this amazing interviews and Christmas calendar with each free gift that is into each speaker. So Paige, my love, thank you for bottom of my heart to be a part of this work, be part of this movement, to do what you do and be who you are and how you're showing up. It is a beautiful life for me to show the way where I get to work a little bit around my style on the clothes and get the foxy lady out there. So thank you so much for being here, my love.
Oh, you're so welcome. I appreciate you. I love what you stand for, and I really appreciate you ladies for joining us today. And anyone who's seeing this video in the future, just much love. Get real, and I love you.
Love you. Bye, everyone.